Hello and welcome. This is my top 5 least favorite WWE Mattel figures in my collection. It was kind of hard making this list because I don't collect bad figures, obviously. So I kind of had to take ones that were out of scale or, something like that. And this isn't one of the figures, but I guess it's an honorable mention. We have this Elite 67 Chase variant Jeff Hardy. This should have been the original, and the other one, that one, should have been the variant, because this one is bland. I mean, it's just blue. The head is kind of nice, but I don't really like the Jeff Hardy screaming head scan. So, you might be wondering why I even have this, because I bought it to sell it, actually. So, that's that one. Number 5, we have this Chris Benoit custom fix-up, wearing the Big Evil shirt. The figure's fine. I put the NWO logo on there and the Chris Benoit head on his knee. But, it's Chris Benoit. I'm not a huge fan of Chris Benoit. I don't think anyone should really be a huge fan of Chris Benoit. But, I don't know. I only made it because I found that Jack's Chris Benoit figure at Goodwill, and I bought it, and this is a Battle Pack Miz basic figure from the one with the Miz and Morrison, and I acetoned off all the decals and put just black, and then I clear coated it. Pretty basic. Okay, next we have Curt Hawkins, Neville, and Mark Henry, and I'll tell you why. Mark Henry's because he rattles, he does that. Oh, he's going for pretty nice spin up move, but yeah, his arm is completely loose. He rattles, and he's not to scale. Mark Henry is 6'4", and Neville is 5'8", and they are exactly the same height. If not, Neville is taller. 6'4" and 5'8" are very far apart, not close at all. And Curt Hawkins is 6'1", and he's almost taller than Mark Henry, I think. I don't know. Well, yeah, the Neville it's just a crappier version of the Elite version that was in this exact same attire. So, yeah, the Elite version is just infinitely better than this one, and he's not to scale. Well, maybe Neville is to scale and Mark Henry isn't, because that's probably the case, because Mark Henry, he's wider. So maybe they had to do that to make sure he fit in the box. Yeah, but Mark Henry's not to scale and his arm is jank. I wish I had the Elite version of that one, though. And Curt Hawkins, they made him too weak. I had to replace these arms with, basic Miz arms. And also his ponytail's missing. That was like that when I got it. Though, so... Yeah, I put the knee pads on, too. I had to put beefier arms on Curt Hawkins because they did him wrong. And, yeah, nothing wrong with the figure. Except for the things I just said, but, yep. Number 1, we have pretty much everyone from this series. The Walmart Howard Finkel. I only got all 4 of them for Howard Finkel. And Sergeant Slaughter. The best thing about this figure is his boots. And that's pretty sad. The articulation is garbage. The face scan is eh. And this is probably the worst Sergeant Slaughter we've gotten, besides the white tank top with the blue tights version. That one's horrendous. But this is a close second, and it's not Elite like the other one, so it's probably even worse. Yeah, that basic 60-something Sergeant Slaughter is infinitely better. He's got the better articulation. It comes in the red packaging. I don't know exactly what series, but yeah, that one's infinitely better than this one. I only got this one for the Howard Finkel. I kept the Rick Rude too, but I used my Elite Rick Rude to make that Dolph Ziggler. So yep, and I think I sold Cowboy Bob Orton for full price, surprisingly, since Cowboy Bob Orton is probably worse than Sergeant Slaughter, so I had to get rid of Cowboy Bob Orton. He was just terrible. And who's the other one? Oh, Million Dollar Man. I turned Million Dollar Man into... I put him on the purple Kurt Angle suited figure because then it could go with the sun because he has the purple. There's all the Nexus figures. By the way, go watch my other video for a more in-depth view of my Nexus figures. Some more honorable mentions before I leave are pretty much every new John Cena Elite, because they have goofy looking head scans and they're just, there's one every 3 series. So I was going to sell that Sin Cara, but now that he's quitting, I'm going to keep him. And CM Punk is back, and that's great because he's my favorite wrestler. So yeah, there's my CM Punk is right here. Series 1 MVP. Okay, so this has been my top 5 least favorite figures. Let's put them all in frame again that I own. These aren't my least favorite figures that have ever been made by Mattel. These are just the ones that I have. So yep. Alright, bye bye.